Alrighty boys, welcome back to another step-by-step video. Now today's video is going to be about how to win more gunfights, as well as being a Goyo how-to video as well. Now the biggest tip that I really want to give you guys when it comes to winning gunfights is that you guys got to understand that when it comes to this game in particular, in the headshots versus body shots department, headshots is always going to be the clear cookie cutter winner in a one-shot headshot game. And the reason why this is important is because what that means is that certain guns, specifically guns like the Vector on Goyo or the SMG-12 on Warden or Vigil or whatever those could be, are going to be a lot more stronger than 99% of the other guns on defense or even on attack. And the reason for that is because of the fire rate. Now, a lot of people don't really understand this concept, but a lot of people will use guns that are like, a lot of people will say are good, but they won't even understand why they're good. And the reason for that is because of the fire rate. Now, the reason why the fire rate is important to think about is because, as you guys just saw, I have an ACOG with the Vector, right? I have Goyo's gun. I believe the fire rate is what, like 1200 or something like that. And there was a guy on the con, like single wall basically, and all he did was try to look for an early fast pick through con single on the rappel. But since I have that ACOG, I can quickly target myself onto his head. I can shoot a couple bullets, and all of a sudden he's just dead. He didn't even shoot at me. You know what I mean? He didn't even shoot at me. That's how bad it is for him in that position to be going against the Vector. You know what I mean? The reason why fire rate is so important is because of the fact that you can rack up those headshots very, very quickly. And then you add in other aspects that help you win gunfights like ACOGs into the mix. All of a sudden you have a gun that's like overpowered pretty much, or borderline overpowered. You can see here, like this guy catches me completely off guard on the con window. But yeah, I'm able to just like turn around, just 180 him, shoot in his general direction, and I get a headshot. You know what I mean? Now, I was aiming for his head there on the crouch angle, in particular for the window, but like just the fact that I'm able to do that and kill him that quickly is kind of nuts. And then once again right here, I hear another guy on the window. I'm just going to swing aggressively. I'm going to pre-fire the whole window, and I'm going to get myself another free kill. And then as I'm jumping in right here, I'm going to hear the last guy on the cash door. I'm going to swing aggressively, and then I'm going to end up basically dragging it across. Once again, the rate of fire is going to make sure I hit every single angle, and I'm going to get myself another free kill to win another easy gunfight. And that's 4 kills, just like that. And that's going to be the ultimate way to win more gunfights, is just simply to run better guns. I'm going to be honest, guys. If you're running around with like the SMG-11, or I know the SMG-11 is good, but it only has 16 bullets, you're not going to be able to take multiple gunfights. The recoil is sometimes difficult to manage, you know what I mean? There's a lot of different reasons why you'd want to be using the Vector over like the SMG-11, for example. Even though SMG-11 is a great gun, don't get me wrong. It's just like, you know what I mean? Just the fact that you have options that exist where you have an ACOG and a super, super high rate of fire gun, it's like just no question what's better in that position. For example, think of this type of situation, okay? You have Sledge going against with the L85, right? Sledge with the L85, 670 fire rate, 47 damage per shot, right? Versus the Vector, which does 22 damage and like a 1200 fire rate. Who's going to be more likely to win that gunfight in a one-shot headshot engagement? It's going to always be the Vector with the Goyo, you know what I mean? And the reason for that is because all Goyo has to do is just hit your head one time. He shoots almost double your amount of bullets per second. I believe is the DPS, damage per second. Yeah, per second. So you know what I mean. It's just a no-brainer. Now, the only real way that you're gonna find a world where Sledge is gonna outplay a Goyo typically is gonna be if it's not a 50-50 gunfight, which actually leads into my next big thing that I wanted to talk about with you guys today. Is like, if you want to win more gunfights, I'm going to be honest, the best way to win more gunfights is to actually not take gunfights, and it's actually get free kills. And some of the ways that I wanted to share with you guys in today's video about how to get these free kills is actually going to be on this map on Consulate. This is going to be one method that I like to get free kills. I impact a hole inside of reception here, and I'm holding for lobby. There's going to be a blitz that's going to ego challenge me. Not really sure why he's ego challenging me right there, especially when I'm using the Vector. I mean, it's just a free kill for me, you know what I mean? There's no chance that blitz is winning that engagement. However, that specific angle, most times people don't even look up and you get yourself a free kill when they're going through lobby at all ranks, by the way, not just in, you know what I mean, champion and gold, whatever. It's at all ranks, and I know that for sure. And then this other angle is going to be over on K9 for the K9 door. It's a nice little like punch hole that you can use whenever you're on the dining bomb site. In particular, dining kitchen bomb site is when I would recommend using it. However, you could use it on the master bomb site. The only downside with the master bomb site is if the enemy team goes for like a solar push, then I don't recommend doing it. Now, like I said, ideally, you're going to want to get those free kills. But I'm going to be honest, guys, it's... You know, why do you guys think, like, the best players in the world run around with these weapons all the time? It's because they're broken as can be. You know what I mean? They are the most broken guns in the game right now. And from my point of view, it doesn't really look like Ubisoft is doing anything about it in terms of, like, nerfs or anything like that when it comes to, like, the Vector, the SMG-12. The one big takeaway that I want you guys to have for this video is that if you want to win more gunfights, you just got to start using guns that are better for winning gunfights in particular. Like the Vector is a great example. That's another like off angle that you guys could use that I wanted to include in this video because I feel like a lot of people don't talk about that. Ooh, that's actually a good thing to talk about in today's video actually. Whenever you guys can, try to make use of like a higher like positioning, if that makes sense. So like a desk or like a table in a room or something. Like, hop on that table if you think you're about to get swung by somebody or you yourself are about to swing into somebody. You know what I mean? Hop on, like, an elevated position, and 9 times out of 10, the enemy player is going to have to shoot at your body. And if you're using one of these guns, like the Goyo Vector, SMG-12, one of the guns that have, like, a high rate of fire, maybe the AK-12, maybe the R4C, maybe the F2, whatever, you're going to just, like... win the gunfight outright because you got to think of it like kind of like Star Wars perspective as well as like I haven't watched Star Wars right away. I apologize to you guys in advance, but like high ground means more advantage typically. You know what I mean? And think about it, like when you're on high ground and you're looking down at somebody, you're gonna see their head, right? You're gonna see more of their head, right? So when you have that higher rate of fire gun, that means that you're more likely to hit the headshot on them when you're above them, right? And the idea is that when that person that is going to be aiming at you, right, that person that is aiming at you that is on level position, right, they're just standing still or whatever, they're on an angle, holding an angle, whatever, they're about to swing you, whatever, if they're on like a standard floor, right, and they're not on an elevated position, right, they're going to swing around that corner or maybe you're swinging into them and they're going to be aiming head level, right, but all of a sudden if you're on that elevated surface, they're going to be aiming at your body, right? And then you're aiming down at them, aiming it towards their head. So what does that mean? That means you're about to get yourself a very easy gunfight because you're going to have automatic advantage combined with the fact that you're already using a gun that's designed for winning gunfights. Like to go back to what I was talking about earlier, you have a sledge versus a Goyo, right? The 670 fire rate sledge versus the Goyo Vector, that's already probably like a 70% chance that the Vector is going to win because of the fact that I'm going to shoot 2 bullets in relation to your 1 pretty much on paper off rip already. And when it comes to the elevated position as well, right, you're adding more advantage. So that's probably now like a 90% win rate, if that makes sense, even against like the best of the best players, because of the fact that they're gonna have to readjust their aim to get up to your head, but they're already using a slow rate of fire gun. You see what I'm saying? Like, it just makes sense. Like, you're just gaining so much more advantage than what the enemy team is getting on their end. And I'm just talking about, like, 50-50 gunfights. You want to talk about, like, other things, like Swinger's advantage on top of that? Like, you're just not going to lose gunfights. Like, you know what I mean? Like, one of the things that I was recently noticing is that once I got my recoil control down, I was controlling my recoil a lot better. I was just not losing my gunfights unless somebody caught me off guard, pretty much. And that was pretty much, like, the only way that I would actually lose. Either I would get caught off guard, or I would get caught in, like, a numbers disadvantage where I have to shoot at multiple people at one time. And I would kind of consider that to be kind of similar to being caught off guard, if that makes sense, where you get put in those like positions occasionally where you're like 1vx, like 1v3, 1v4, 1v2, whatever, and then you're suddenly having to take multiple gunfights and multiple people are engaging you at one time. And that especially happens in like higher champion elo. Like if you ever watch like the tournaments that happen on Sunday, or even like the Roller Fridays, the Roller Saturdays, the Pro League, like stuff like that, you're gonna see that when it comes to those like competitive environments, the more people that are coming at you at once, the less likely you are to actually be able to win your gunfights. Maybe you can kill one, but if another person swings you at the same time, you're most likely going to end up dying because you're not able to physically look in two directions at one time to kill both of them, you know what I mean? So that's when like playing on the mistakes of your enemy players is really important, you know what I mean? So when you have your sensitivity down, you can control the recoil for like the Vector, SMG-12, whatever, and you're able to take these gunfights where you have this massive amount of advantage in the 50-50 gunfight engagement, combining it with the Pika's advantage, then all of a sudden you got a recipe for never dying in an actual gunfight, and a recipe for pretty much winning almost all of your engagements, and the only times that you're actually going to end up dying is going to be when you're caught off guard, or you are placed in one of those like 1vx positions, or you whiff or something, you know what I mean? But that's like really huge in this game, because like if you can find out exactly how you die, then you can figure out how to counteract that and become a way better player. But anyway, guys, that's going to pretty much do it for today's step-by-step video. I hope you guys enjoyed. Please make sure to like and subscribe, and I will see you guys in the next one. Peace!